Okay, let's talk about Johnny's Last Resort. Johnny's Last Resort was originally a side project, a bit of a lark. My buddy Paul Lifewood was wanting to christen his new studio, so he gave me a ring and said, well, why didn't I come round and play a bit of bass and we'd have a jam? So I did. We had a jam. We came up with a song that went through about 3 or 4 different time signatures. It was fairly heavy because I was in a heavy mindset. Perceived as Eagles were quite a heavy band, as you're probably aware. And whilst Paul was laying down some additional guitars and programming the drums and things, I sat writing lyrics and came up with a lyric for the thing. So Paul wasn't sure how to approach it, so he knew as I'm writing lyric, I generally sit and go through in my head how I want it to come out. And he said, so well, just lay down a guide vocal. If it's crap, no one else ever hears it, I'll just go over the top of it and do my own vocal, and that'll be a bit better, because Paul's obviously a much better singer than me. Certainly he's a lot better than I was at the time. Probably still a lot better than I am now. But that was the setup effectively. We'd laid down this track which we were pretty impressed with and quite pleased with how it had come out, and I went and laid down a guide vocal for it. When I'd finished, Paul turned around and said, okay, do you want to put in a couple of I'll go and I'll put in a couple of doubles of some of the vocals, so chorus vocals and things like that. So he went through and did that. I said, well, are we just going to leave my guide vocal? And he was like, yeah, it was fine. So we left my guide vocal. We sat thinking what to do with the middle 8 section, and decided that what we wanted was something a little bit off the wall. So in my best newsreader voice, I read out some news articles. I can't even remember what they were now. I think I read 3 news articles to fill that gap. Each time it filled the gap. But what we did to sort of make it a bit more weird was we panned them hard left and right and turned one backwards and had that playing down the middle, or something to that effect. Can't quite remember, but the effect was there anyway. It was really disorientating and you had lots of information flying at you at that point in the song. Finished the song, mastered it all in one night, and then I thought, well, that's it. That's pretty funny. That was pretty fun. Good song. Nice little bit of a riff. Went back to normal life. About a week later, Paul says, do you want to pop over and have another go? We came up with another one. Same happened every week for about 3 or 4 weeks till we realised we had a backlog of about 5 songs, and we thought, well, are we going to do something with these? They're pretty good little songs we had at the time. We had, as I say, about 5 songs. So we formed a band. And that was effectively where it started. We started off with the idea that I might play bass and do vocals, but quickly decided that doing both was a bit too much and went looking for a bass player. Paul's brother Tony came in on the drums. We actually poached my brother Gary's bass player for a while. He was the bass player that we employed because we got gigging faster. We did as well. We actually got gigging a lot faster because we were writing songs every week. And then also every week we were going down to band practice and practicing them. So I was starting to get into the frontman role for the first time in my entire life. And the rest of the band were really locking right in and getting everything tight as you'd like. The only issue we had was the issue I always have, that I need lyric sheets for everything. So it was sort of brought in as part of the stage show. I just had bits of paper strewn around the floor in front of me, and I just started going down and looking at them and then coming back up again and things like that. And we went from there with the live gigs. This is one of our latest songs, which was a lot more dynamic than some of the early ones. This one has, as you can hear, it's picked up a bit now, but at the start it was quite gentle. This was This was one of the ones that was written in the practice room rather than me and Paul writing in the studio on our own. This was a band composition, musically almost. But Paul's the only one playing an instrument on this recording, and I'm doing the vocals and I've written the words and things. And I think with the song being finished, that's probably a good time to stop. I'll put a link to the Bandcamp where you can download the album if you want. It's free, and there's actually about 20 odd songs, I think.